Hey, everyone. How's it going? It is me, Victoria Baxter of Saved and Single, along with New Thing Life Coaching. And I did not get a chance to do the Sassy Saturday special last week. Of course, just with the holidays and all that other good stuff, it was a lot going on for many of us. But I wanted to pop on in anyway because I still wanted to make sure that I was able to give the message that was given to me in order to try to help some people at this point. And really, something I've been noticing is that along with, just singles and, just being lonely around this time of year because of the temperature, the weather is changing. Of course, it's the holidays. We all want somebody to be able to spend the holidays with. We're thinking about, the parties and the dinners and the get togethers. And it would be nice to have someone on our arms at times. Also, what's plaguing many people is the fact that there was somebody maybe just weeks or even months ago, and maybe they were not expecting to be spending this holiday season alone. They're trying to figure out what happened, what's going on. They're trying to pick up the pieces, still trying to, be here in the moment and still dealing with the holidays. And it's not always as easy as it seems. So, for this message, unbreak my heart. And you've probably heard that before because through New Thing Life Coaching and the Arsenal, where I have all of these mini crash courses for a very low cost. Unbreak My Heart is one of the courses that I have because I realize that that's something that a lot of women deal with. They're like, hey, like, I'm trying to get over a broken heart. Like, this is painful. Does it ever end? I don't know what to do. My friends are sick of hearing about it, or I don't have anyone to turn to. So sometimes, we fall apart. I've been there before, and I'm sure many of you have been as well. So I created that crash course for that same reason. Why not keep the same title? Unbreak My Heart. And if you have not already, please, reminder, register for the free webinar tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it's called When He Doesn't Love Me Back. And again, for that same thing, because aside from just the heartbreak itself, I know how some people still are with closure, with questions, and they have all of these different things going through their head, and they're just trying to figure out, like, why doesn't he love me? Like, is something wrong with me? Was it something I could have done differently? And I get, how some people feel that way. And I think, again, no matter how anyone feels about, oh, just get over it, or you don't need to, get closure, that doesn't work for everyone. That's just the reality. I would like to see it happen that way, but it's not the truth. So I knew that that was something I was wanting to address and to also help women with, and especially when you have all of these different questions. So tomorrow, completely free, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, When He Doesn't Love Me Back. You can register by going to bit.ly/ He Doesn't Love Me. All lowercase, no punctuation marks, nothing. He doesn't love me. You don't want to miss it. So, moving on, how to actually unbreak your heart and how to get over a heartbreak. Here's what I will tell you. First and foremost, cry. Cry, cry, cry. You have to cry it out. Tears bring healing, and a lot of people don't realize that. Tears are also a form of prayers, and we know that God even, mentions how He is close to the brokenhearted. He is, close to those who are crushed in spirit. Like, He cares about those things. But of course, even if you don't feel like praying, that's fine, because I remember going through a situation where I didn't want to pray. That was the last thing I was wanting, because I was like, okay, God, how did you let this happen? Why am I sitting here again? So even if you don't want to pray, I will tell you, cry, get it all out, experience every single emotion. Sit in that emotion. I don't care what it is. If you feel rejected, if you feel like you are not good enough, if you're hurting, if you're frustrated, or you really thought, he was the one, and you thought you were doing everything right, you thought that y'all were in a very good place, cry over it all. Now, eventually, tears do have to end. Whether that takes you a whole day, days, or even a couple of weeks, maybe even a couple of months, tops, 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 tops. Okay, don't go past a couple of months. But eventually, you do need to get to that place of prayer, because even as we stop crying, even as we say, hey, well, I'm good now, like everything is good, sometimes we have not really dealt with the aftermath. We have not really processed a lot of those feelings. We have not gone through the actual emotions. We have not taken the time to make sure that we are mended. We have not taken the time to talk to God, to have Him heal us, and especially to make sure that we don't experience that again, but to also make sure that we don't break the next person. We make everything about us. Ourselves, and of course being tuned into the WIIFM, What's in It for Me station. But it's like we make everything about us, and then even just us as in women. But we don't oftentimes think about the men who end up encountering these broken women. The men who encounter these women and they're trying to love these women, but they can't because that woman still has that guard up. She's still operating from a place of fear. She's still not sure if that man is going to be just like the next man. So you have to pray at some point. Like, you have to pray and invite God in and say, God, I need you to handle this. Show me, like, mend, mend me, make me whole. Like, hey, God, I'm going to give you the ashes so you can give me beauty. We have to go through all of that and say, God, what did I need to know about that situation? How can I avoid that situation? God, did I miss something from you when it came to that relationship? We need to pray and be honest about that and ask God to come in and do that work within us, along with asking him to just show us, to make sure that we never go back to that place again, and asking him to heal us. After you cry, after you pray, go back and cry some more. Because when you truly, because you have to understand that whoever broke your heart, whatever it was that happened, obviously there's a good chance that that was not a person that God intended for you to connect with. And a lot of times what does end up happening, and especially something that I myself have experienced, is I would then have to start listening to God. I'm praying out, crying, talking, taking all of that pain to God. And then I had to start listening to what God was downloading to me. I had to start listening to what it was that God was telling me about that man, about that relationship, about that situation. Like, what was wrong with me? Why did I allow that? Why was I okay with it? Why did I stay? Why did I, want him? Like, all of these different things. Some of those things were hard to hear. Yes, even coming from God. So it then caused me to go back and cry all over again. That's fine. So now, after you come out of that third step, number 4, I would tell you, evaluate your feelings. Like, what hurts or what did hurt and why. And that might sound crazy, but it's like, what truly had you to that place of being broken over that man or over that relationship? Was it that you truly did love him? And if so, what did you love about him? What did you love? And especially if it has you in a place where you're hurt and alone, and now going through this pain because it's now over. So what was it that you loved about him? And was it really him, or was it the idea of him? Was it him, or was it who you thought he was? Was it him, or was it who he portrayed to be? Was it him, or was it the idea of being taken off the market and you were no longer going to be single? You didn't have to worry about dating and you really thought it was the one. Again, my story, because with one guy, when I look back, it's like, I really did not want him. It was just the idea of being in a relationship. It was the idea of, I'm done. I met him after I became abstinent. This is the one. Look at how God blesses, people for obedience. Like, that was my thought process. So I had to evaluate, and I could only do it once I cried, prayed, heard from God, cried again. Then I was able to evaluate and say, okay, what was really going on in that situation? Now that you are 100% over him, what was really going on there? And the answers were a little bit shocking, I will say that. After you evaluate, step 5 is time to get up, girl. Get up. No more crying, no more praying, no more crying anymore. There's nothing left to evaluate. You get up and you walk forward like a boss. You've now gone through all of it. You're going to make sure it doesn't happen again. You're not going to hold on to him. You're not holding on to the past. You're not going to make the next man pay. Get up, get out, hang with your friends, brush your shoulder off, do whatever you got to do, because now that is 100% a done deal. Okay? Those are the steps that I would give you when it comes down to unbreaking your heart, because we got to leave all of this stuff in 2019. We're not taking any of it in 2020. Don't forget, register for tomorrow night's webinar, bit.ly/he doesn't love me. No punctuation marks, all lowercase, all together. Grab the crash course from the arsenal if you haven't already. www.newthinglifecoaching.com/the arsenal. Again, it's called Unbreak My Heart. It's right there. Grab it and have at it. God bless you all, and I will talk to you all later. Bye-bye.